morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depends on your time zone. God bless you. Thanks for patronizing my channel. It's me again, your friend Pastor Yemi Omogboyega. I know some of you will be asking, where is family devotional? Don't worry. Family devotional is a system or a scheme that will take you through the Bible from in 1 year. And you get so many messages that will address the needs of your life there. So we stopped at 130. The next one is 131. We are going to 365 days. So that is a total package for every one of you. So be aware. Secondly, you must have been listening to my messages. You will see that by the special grace of God, I'm gifted in certain things: counseling, preaching, teaching, and a number of other things. Now, if you have a need, maybe you need marriage counselor. I've written 2 books on marriage. One is for starters, that is those who want to just marry. That is this thing called marriage. I titled it. It was published as far back as about year 2006. So this material is useful to those who are in search of who to marry. You know when to marry, you know everything. So in case you need counseling in this area, I think I can be very useful to you. Now, are you married? I have one book also which says, now that you are married, make it work. This is a good material that I use to counsel people. Copies are not immediately available now. If you need it, we can go back to the press and print, but I want to make sure that the market is there. Otherwise, I can use that same book to counsel you in your marriage journey so that it becomes successful. It's you that will make your marriage work. No love, no theories will make it unless you are determined to make your marriage work. So I can counsel you in that area. Are you talking of career in terms of empowerment and all that? We can do all that. Very soon I want to set up my own master class whereby if you are interested, you can key in. When we are releasing these topics, you come in, we have a chat one-on-one whereby your issues can be addressed. So please, and then we are also marketing some properties. I told you, invest in your future. Real estate business is one of those areas. Once you buy in a good place and secure place, one real estate business is a place where you can be sure that your future is guaranteed. It was Daddy Adeboye who once said, one of his children said, he can never be poor again in life. And by the time, the mystery behind that thing is not miracle. Take note. By the time the mystery was revealed, he said, by the time he probed further into that gentleman, he said the man had over 100 houses in Lagos alone, both in highbrow, lowbrow, middlebrow areas. That's wisdom. So you need to do something about your life, your future, and how you will end up in life financially. So real estate is one of the best solutions. There are others. We will be talking about that when we are talking of empowerment and so on and so forth. Now, next to that is subscribe to my channel, share our videos, press the notification button so that you get to know when we upload new videos. You can see how many we are releasing these days and the more. I told you God has given me an unlimited inspiration. Oh yeah, there's the call. Excuse me, please. Mommy, somebody is at the door. For your sake, as I said, God has given me, taken me to the rivers of the living water, that is unlimited divine inspiration to teach on so many things that would benefit your life using real life experiences. So please, you see, patronize this channel as often as possible. Then, as I said, share our videos, like our videos. It is very, very important. Take advantage of it. Like our videos so that YouTube will recommend us to others. Very soon, I want to start doing live on YouTube, but I need a subscription base of 1,000 membership. So I'm on 401 now. Thanks to every one of you who have subscribed. Please recommend us to others. And I told you that the subscription base is that low. It's not because of anything. It's because I was just doing it passively. I was just giving my messages just like that. I wasn't money conscious. It's not money that is my going into blogging. It's not money consciousness. It's to pass the message across. But I want to reach out to as widely as possible, many people worldwide. So, and of course, now that they are monetizing, maybe that can lead to that. As a result of that, I need your support to get me to that base so that we can do better. Then let me appreciate every one of you who have subscribed, and you are doing everything to help this platform to go higher. So, God bless you. Now, I want to talk on the topic which says, be original and be unstoppable. Be original and be unstoppable. Bible says, whatever you you lay your hands upon, do it as if you are doing it unto the Lord. Anything you lay your hands upon, do it as if you are doing it unto the Lord. One of the qualities that God used to bring me to the level I am today, that I can speak with you, I can teach, I can do everything that I'm doing, and that brought me this far from my youth, is the spirit, the can I say the spirit, or can I say it is the quality of being original and being unstoppable. Being original and being unstoppable. From my youth, I decided in my life that I will get out of poverty, and that I will do something that will make me to get out of that poverty. And that thing was the fact that apart from being determined, I chose something that will actually lead me away from that poverty. I chose education. I told you earlier in some of my postings that the highest I had from people, my parents, my entire families put together, was primary 6 education. But I was determined and I was original in my approach to get myself educated. And I got myself unstoppable. Wherever I see books, I will read. Whatever I was doing, I was in school. Whether before I got married, I was in school. When I was in marriage, I was in school. When I became parents, I was in school. When I remained everything, in any situation, I keep on learning, because I believe that learning is a path to financial freedom and to mental freedom and to proper exposure that will give us the opportunities that will better our lot in life. And till today, I'm still learning. My unstoppability spirit is what still makes me to be releasing more and more and more and more videos. I know, is it everybody that really kind of praises my effort? Do I bother? Some will criticize me and say, you are too talkative. Hey, hallelujah. That was one quality, unstoppable quality in my life that had brought me this far. Because you cannot stop me from talking. It's a God-given talent. And the only thing that I make sure I use it for is that I use it for the good of humanity. So that is my talent. And that talent of being garrulous, that is, I can talk, is what is making me to teach, to preach, to write books, to give lectures, and even to do counseling. If I'm unable to talk, or if I had allowed somebody along the line to say, because I'm criticized, I won't talk again. I know many occasions where my wife will say, you're so restless. Why not stop? I always tell her, sorry, the day I stopped is the day that the lives of some people that I would have blessed will start getting frustrated or ruined. Because, so because of that, I'll continue. Oh, you have released so much information about yourself. What information? I have since have known that there's nothing like, unless you have something to hide, there is nothing like so-called privacy, to the extent to which you people are taking it that you should silence yourself, the plague of silence. I experienced something which somebody else elsewhere must be experiencing. And I want to express it so that that person can, maybe I have found solution, so that that person can take a cue from me and then learn how to resolve that problem. And you are saying, I'm releasing privacy. You want people to know that you were poor before. Why are you promoting it? So that they will think you are poor. They will downlook you. Does it bother me? I'm original. I'm myself. Today, I relate with the elites. Today, I relate with the middle class. Today, I comfortably also relate with the people that are still down there below me. So it's a matter of joy. Thank God that those of you who are elites, you cannot downlook me. Even if you do, you are doing it at your own detriment, because I don't even know. I don't know. And I don't even want to know. What is important to me is influence you for good, influence the middle class for good. What a wonderful way to actually illustrate the topic I'm treating. As I was in the recording mode, um, a lot of distractions came in, and I couldn't continue this recording until it was evening. And as I contemplated resuming my recording, the rain started. All of a sudden, NEPA took away the power, and so I'm left with going to bed to sleep. And interestingly, when I remember that the topic is be original and be unstoppable, that quickly quickened my spirit to say, whether there is light or not, I must be, at least the latter part of it, I must be unstoppable. I've laid my hands on this plow to record this message, and therefore nothing should stop me from continuing. Now, take this message, don't look at the beauty. Take it that you are even just listen to the sound of my voice. That's enough for you. After all, if I've done it as an audio, you will listen to it. So enjoy yourself. Now, as I said, you have to be original and be unstoppable. Not even power failure can stop me from doing this recording. And I have to go ahead. I give you an example there that they will say, this man, you are releasing so much information about yourself. Is it to brag or is it to, just show off? No, I'm doing it for a purpose. I've experienced something. They say experience is the best teacher. I experienced something and I had solution to it. And somebody is experiencing it elsewhere. He needs solution to it. My relating my experiences with that person can actually help him or her to make a headway out of life. And I give two examples. I told you I started writing my autobiography in 1980 or 1981 rather, and I never knew that there's a purpose, a big purpose for which it is going to serve. And in that process, I was just doing what I felt like doing because I wanted to. I'm somebody who believes so much in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 that says, write the vision down so that those who were not there when they were released will run with them. So I like to document my life. I believe that maybe somewhere along the line somebody will profit from it. So I went ahead in spite of all the obstacles, inability to express myself. I had never written any book before. Inability to do any, in the literal world. I knew I've read to the best of my ability then. My um, composition capability was still weak then, but that notwithstanding, I was unstoppable. And I wrote it, and it wasn't published until 1991, 10 years after several labors. I never gave up because I was unstoppable. But to God being the glory, after writing that book, I never knew that it was going to be useful to me when I would need admission later. When I was seeking admission into the Lagos State University, one of the lecturers, we became friends, and my admission was becoming difficult. You know what Nigeria is, pressure here and there. And my admission was very difficult somehow. So one of the times just occurred to me to give a copy of my autobiography, self-published autobiography, I'm still coming to that, to this, my friend. And he read it. As a result of what he read in that book, he concluded that if anybody needed help at all, it's somebody like the author. And he did all he could to assist me. Not that I didn't qualify, forget about that. I met all the criteria, but when population is so much demanding the same thing, competition arises, no matter of who you know now. So I gave that book out. He read it and it became instrumental to convincing him that this is somebody that really needs this admission. And I thank him. Today, I'm grateful that that book did the work. Not only did he help me, sometimes later, about 2, 3 years after or so, he just called me and said, Mr. Mugwega, please, even if it is the manuscript of that your book that you have, please give it to me, because the one you gave to me earlier, I had given to somebody who had contemplated committing suicide because life was too difficult for him. And that by the time the gentleman had read the book, he changed his mind. And that if I knew what he had done that, you know, um, I will be glad that I wrote that book. So that's another testimony about what that little effort did to me and to somebody else. So I was so moved, I was so glad. And uh, that book became an instrument for my development and for the emancipation or saving of the soul, precious soul of somebody, even up to today, that I've never met. So you can now see that purpose, those two purposes were accomplished. But if I had given up within the 10-year space that I was doing that, possibility was that there was nothing other than begin to look for ways to offer bribe, you know, or to, use, I mean, ungodly way to enter into the university. You can purchase your admission, you can uh, pay the bribe to get it, but God forbid that I did such a thing as a Christian. And I am not the type that lobbies terribly for something. No. But that book, God used it. That little effort, God used it to help me out. So, and I thank my friend who later became the VC of that same university, Professor Lanre Fagbo. To God be the glory. I will never forget what he did for me. And that's what that book did. Now, another way to be unstoppable is this. I was just talking about the book. What happened to the publication of that book? I wrote it to the very best of my ability. If you know the Good News version of the Bible, Good News version, you know that's, I would say that's the simplest English. That Bible is written in the simplest English. It's only children's version of the Bible that could be simpler. All right? So, but it's in between the middle class, the kind of English and so on. All I did was, I was able to express myself. In fact, when I had difficulties writing it, I went into the bookshop and started to look for books on writing. Then I found one book. I think it's Tom Jones now, if I can remember. I can't remember. I think the name is Tom Jones or something. So the writer said, do you have difficulty writing your books, even your own personal autobiography, because you will surely have difficulties and expression may be your problem. Then I read, he said, do you know the best way to write your book? He said, write it with the same language, with the same level of English, and with the same level of whatever. Just express it as your mind is thinking of it. Just as you are thinking of it, the language you are using in the process of that thinking, just use it to write it. Hey, come and see how I let loose. I started writing that way, the way I was thinking. I wasn't looking for any technical language. Just, when before you voice out, you must have given a thought. That process of thought, the language, the expression that is used in that language, that was how I overcame that problem. So I was not looking at, I was not seeing writing as something that must come from above, or that I had to expect miracles to do. No, that I could express myself the way I was thinking. So that's one major hurdle that I jumped. Then later, I finished the manuscript. I typed it out. Started with manual typewriter, so at least to see it in a printed form. I typed it several times, and I keep on revising the script until later on I started using electric typewriter. Oh, it became better. And then I started using another type of electric typewriter that has memory, that was keeping whatever you type, you can replay it. and it will type it again and again. So that was how I started doing it. Not long after, um, this giant computer came with big floppy disk. Then you can see how the thing was progressing. Didn't give up because I was unstoppable. I was bent on publishing that book. Then the floppy disk thing, I started storing the messages inside. And although the danger of that one is that the floppy disk can get bad anytime. So I quickly duplicate and make several copies. So if one gets into trouble, I'll keep it because I don't want to be repeating the typing other than editing. So after that one, the personal computer came, oh my God, that can now store comfortably for as long as I wish. And I took advantage of that. And then after that one too, the laptop came that I can now move around even from my office to my house and work at any time, at any pace, at any time. Advantage, everything like that came. Then later on, I completed the script to a standard. I was looking for an editor, someone who will edit it for me to make it professional, look, presentable, generally presentable. So I approached an editor. As at that time, I think it was taking about 100 naira per page, and I had 90 pages. So that was how I gave that um, script to the man. And the man was my boss then who introduced me to him, Mr. Bisi Ojediro, a great writer himself who has received several awards in his literary, you know, releases. So, and so it became a bit better, much better, not even a bit better, far, much better. It's now becoming professional or presentable. So I kept on like that. After we finished all that, who will publish it? I was unknown. What story do I have to tell that will move anybody? And when you have myriads of writers everywhere, but yet I was unstoppable. I said, I must see that this book was published. I went to Ilesami Press, Ilesha, 4 times or so. I first of all wrote and they said I should send the manuscript. I sent the manuscript, no response. I traveled there and to see them, no way. At a point, I said, and I tried other publishers, no way. The next thing I did was, okay, I said, I would self-publish. So I made up my mind to design the cover myself, you see. And what did I use? I just look at one of my photographs, old photograph, the picture I took in 1973 and 1972 when I was the chair, the Alaga in, they call it Alaga, during this Anglican harvest, when I was leaving primary school. So, and in that picture, you see that I actually wore the type of this rubber shoe or something. So that was bought for me for that Christmas or for that harvest or something like that. So I just put it and I looked for flowers around. I placed it inside a, a little bottle and I used it to join it and photograph everything together. And that was it. And I went to the back side of it. I wrote the biography or something. And I called in a printer to please print just that cover for me. He printed the cover. Then I used the computer in my office, the printer and the computer in my office, to print it and do the settings in an A4 pattern. And fortunately, that printer could print front and back. Oh, what a wonderful one. So I printed a few copies. I don't think I printed more than maybe 20 copies. I can't remember now, but very few copies. Then the printer printed the cover for me. So that was how I self-printed, self-published the book. I then Um, I've self-published it, and I was happy. You see, I was unstoppable until I got that book published. It was a 90-page book, and that was it. Did I rest there? No. Now, because I had those limitations, I decided not to stop. So I started rewriting the book all over again. By 2020, 2006, year 2006, when I wanted to launch five, I had written four more books. A gallery of positive flashes. Then the next one was positive flashes. And then the next one was this thing called marriage. And that's four now, plus that one. I think five. I can't remember quickly now. The fifth one. So I published. So when I was um, launching those five books at Muson Center in 2006, about August 2006, my books had become five. That one book I self-published had become five. And lo and behold, all the five books were published, self-published by myself. What I did was that type of printer that my office had, that had the capability to print front and back and do color and do everything. I even used to do some designs, and I got graphic artists to now design real covers for me, which I paid for. I was using that then. I will print it, collate it myself, and then trim it. And after doing all that, I was able to publish five solid books. That's one thing I realized in this literary world. You will have difficulty starting off, but once you are able to finish one, others will flow. And those five books, I think when I launched them, instantly that day, I realized 1.9 million naira. Even though what I spent, that's another lesson I learned. What I spent um, launching launching them was actually 2.9 million. It was then I realized that even when you are launching your book, you may end up spending more money because of the logistics than you can make at that spot. But that notwithstanding, what you gain there is that those books gained publicity. They were all reviewed in The Guardian, The Sun, The Punch, and a few other major Guardian. Indeed, it was Ruben Abati that reviewed, one of the books, especially the autobiography, while the other ones were reviewed by some other notable writers or editors of these wonderful organizations. So what was important is that those books came to limelight, and thereafter they started selling like wildfire. So anytime I go for lectures, I take them down, and interestingly, people are buying them. So encouraging. You can imagine, as far back as 2006, I've been giving the lectures either on marriage or anything on any of those topics, and it has been doing well. So you can see I was unstoppable, you see. And another thing that came off out of that launching was I invited dignitaries to the occasion. And one of the people that came to my launching then was my Kabiyesi, newly installed Kabiyesi of Inyekiti. That is the upper Ajakaye, the Oyosai, the third. Is it two or three now? I can't remember what. Kabiyesi Oyosai Onyi came, the former justice of Ekiti State. He came and graced the occasion. And thereafter, Bible says that uh, uh, A diligent man will not stand before the what I can't remember. Will stand before the kings or something. Huh? Is a diligent person will stand before kings and not mean men. Thank you very much. So you can imagine that book. After publishing those books, what I did was I started giving motivational lectures to the secondary schools in Ekiti to motivate those children using my autobiography as as a base to tell them that whatever level they are now, the future is bright for them. And that one gained ground. Kabiyesi bought 75,000 worth of books that day and it distributed to all the schools in Ekiti. It was thereafter I went to give lectures there too, and I distributed more copies to them free. And then about 2 or 3 years after, I got an invitation from my Kabiyesi of giving me an honorary chieftaincy title. That's how I became a chief. You can see that little effort in the closet of my room, that effort that I never allowed to get stopped, in spite of my inability, financial incapability, even to start with, then educational inadequacies. Because I did not stop, it got to the point that came to limelight. So that was how I became a, a chief, and that which I still am today. That's a call to leadership in another direction. So up to the point that even when I retired, I became his representative in the um, governing body of our township union. You see, these are some of the things. Excuse me. These are some of the excuse me derivative benefits that came from all this. And today, not only that, I have written several other books. And that also is also what metamorphosed into what I'm doing now, blogging today. Right? I mean, you see, this is the second video I will record this today, 20, the 24th day of October. I released one in the morning. I'm releasing this one in the evening. You see, I say this title is so timely. Power failure, everything came, but I'm unstoppable. Whatever you are doing, go ahead. Number one, be original. Two, when I was writing my books first, I was not copying anybody. I wrote from my own experience, what I saw, what I witnessed, what I did, and I'm able to do it. And then number two, be unstoppable. See all the troubles I went through. All right? You must pass through challenges in life. You see, be unstoppable. I wasn't stoppable, and I went ahead and see what became the result. And to God be the glory. That's my principle from then onwards. Whatever I laid my hands upon. When I was also doing a lot of examples of this originality and unstoppability. Take Shina Peters, for example, the musician. Initially, they were kind of copying people's music, and they never saw the limelight until the day that he and Adewale gathered together and started waxing their own records, trying to be original. They came to a limited, let me put it that way, limited limelight. But later on, when they broke apart and Shina Peter released what is his own original, Shinamania, that release, that record made waves, and he saw the kind of limelight that he needed as a musician. So you have to be original. Nobody is ready for copy. That's why many gospel music that are going out that are sung in our churches are boring. they've lost value over time. They lacked originality. You come on, you repeat the same thing, I repeat the same thing, I repeat the same. Is it that we are no longer creative? And you can imagine when this guy came and Yeshua Amashiach. You see, that's something creative, something new. So everybody, and there are so many initiatives like that. Whatever it is that you are doing, be original and never give up until you get to the desired result that you want. So I keep on saying it, be original and be unstoppable in whatever you are doing. Is it your academic pursuit? Pursue it until you get to the maximum. And there is no end to learning. Even after graduating, keep learning, keep on learning, keep on learning, keep on learning. Learning is for life. I released a small book that talked about that during one of my lectures. Learning. The moment you realize that learning is for God, at least this is the third time that I'm recording this same video. The battery just suddenly went off again. So, but already, like I said, I am unstoppable. So this is the rounding up of it. Haven't explained what the title means. Be original and be unstoppable. I thank God we're able to come to the conclusion of it. So, bottom line, please share this message. Um, Try and also subscribe to my channel, like my videos, press the notification button so that you get to know when I upload new ones, and comment as you consider fit. God bless you. Have a very wonderful day till we meet again.